What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Lou Reviews, the destination for critical thinking in the realm of the unexplained. Please do not forget to like, share, subscribe. Definitely share the show right now, especially since we're live. Try and get as many people as we can in here. If you haven't already, ring the bell. That way you're notified anytime we put out shorts, anytime we put out videos, anytime we put out live streams, which are all the time, constantly. So especially with the shorts, make sure you check out the videos that are linked to them, because that'll usually lead you to the bigger conversation from where we're pulling that content from. So definitely check those out. They're starting to become kind of popular, so that's cool to see. Let's see here, what else? Okay, so today we're gonna be, first, real quick, I almost forgot, I want to give out a shout out to our new Patreon member, Kevin Weinhold, who became a $5 Patreon member. Thank you so damn much. I truly appreciate it. That goes a long way to helping produce the show. So thank you. We also had, I know we had a few new subs here, so I'll give them a shout out here in a second once that info pops up. But today we're going to be talking about Tom DeLonge's alien photo, which looks like what you would think. We're also gonna cover Rizwan Virk as he tells Joe Rogan a Trust Me Bro story about reverse engineered alien craft, and then Ashton cries and begs and pleads for a Joe Rogan interview. So that's a funny little moment there as well. So those are some of the things we're going to be going over. We're also going to be opening up the second hour to our Discord chat. So if you haven't joined the Discord, link is in the description below. Please go check it out. I'm sure Matt will put up the link in the chat as well to make it as easy as possible. If you guys want to call into the show in the second half, talk about what we covered, talk about anything that happened in the week. There's been a few things. Maybe we'll talk about what a conversation I had last night with a member of the community. It was very strange. But yeah, I don't even know if it's even worth talking about at this point. Okay, so let's get into it, shall we, guys? All right, so first things first, let's go ahead and switch to our good old Lou Reviews studio setup. Make sure I got the proper headroom here on this frame. There we go. Okay. So I guess the first thing we'll tackle, so this is it's the first thing in my bookmarks. And really, I mean, there's not much to talk about this. This is the actual post right here from Tom DeLonge about 19-20 hours ago. And it's a picture of what seems to be an alien. It's very blurry. It's a close-up cropped photo. There's no metadata with a photo. There's no post from DeLonge telling us where he got it from. It's just this mystery photo of this, typical gray-looking alien, but he's got like a orange tinge to him. He's almost brown on the verge of red in some cases. You can't really tell because, again, the photo is such piss poor quality. To me, it screams a little bit of just like an altered image. It's especially around the alien itself. You see a lot of, noise, as they call it, in the biz, a lot of sort of like pixelation and squares around the edge of this thing, especially the hands. Like, it seems like these pixelations go perfectly with it. And it's shocking, hilarious, downright, in some levels, kind of scary that Tom DeLonge thinks this is real. This is a real thing. And the thing I think that shocks me the most about it is, man, if I was Tom DeLonge, I would be, if I posted this, I would post where I got it from. before I posted it, I would ask for the metadata on the photo. This looks like it was taken by a digital camera because it's got so much digitizing to it, or if it might be a digital photo of a real photo. I have no clue. There's no real way to tell. But yeah, it looks like a photo of a photo, possibly. I don't know. Yeah, I hate when Tom DeLonge does this. This is so frustrating. It's so frustrating that he believes this. It's so important to him. He just posted with nothing. With absolutely nothing. Hello to everyone in the chat, by the way. Sway McLeod, Sparky Pilot, Lord Ludacris. I saw Matthew Rye was here. By the way, guys, we're having a very cool discussion on Thursday. I think we're going to move our spaces to Thursdays because more people are available on that day. So just, yeah, that's probably going to start happening this week. But we're going to be talking with Matt Riot. We're going to be going through his book collection. And the thing that we're talking about is Mead Lane and Mark Probert. And we're also going to have Craft Beard, our Andreas, our clinical psychotherapist, to join the show. And it's going to be really cool because it's about transmedium, a transmedium in Probert claiming to channel entities through this transmediumship. Dude, it's going to be really cool. So you're going to want to check out Thursday's space. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be basically where all of this lore comes from. We're going right to the core of this stuff. Where all of these entities, the descriptions, the classifications, where all of this lore was built and where it stems from. I think getting to the core of that and also understanding it from a psychotherapist point of view is going to be really fun. Or clinical therapist. It's going to be a blast. So, join us Thursday. You're not going to want to miss it. So going back to this, I'd like to ask Andres, what does he think about, Tom DeLonge posting something like this? It kind of reminds me of the videos he was sharing when he did the Joe Rogan interview that got him in a lot of trouble. With Chris Mellon and Elizondo and those guys. I don't know why. Because it turns out they believed the same bullshit that he was talking about on Joe Rogan. I don't think Tom DeLonge shares those videos unless Chris Mellon and Lou Elizondo were like, "You're on to something, kiddo." Like, that's some real shit right there. Not being able to decipher that it was clearly CGI. Clearly CGI. And with this could be a dummy. This could be a CGI creation that has a whole bunch of filters on it to make it look like it's a blurred photo. Again, it could be a real photo of a puppet of some kind taken with a camera and then take a cheap iPhone or BlackBerry or something to take a picture of that real photo. There's so many things that this could be other than a real alien. And when you don't post any information with it, what you're implying is that this is a real alien. Yeah, man, it's such a weird dude. All right, cool. So let's see here. This is something here that I also wanted to touch on. This Portugal Meteor. Let me go ahead. I've got a few different videos of it here. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up was because this clearly shows the whole iPhone theory is correct. Like, here we have a major event in the sky. Personally, I think this one that I'm about to pull up might be fake. We've got these 3 videos, and there's more. There's a lot more, and the one playing on Twitter right now. These 3 videos from the same exact event, you know, and just people randomly filming on their iPhones. If there were football-sized UFOs and orbs dancing around people's faces, you know, and going in and out at low orbits and doing right-hand turns over major metropolitan areas, and in some cases not even major metropolitan areas, they're literally in parks. They're in, like, look at this one. This one is probably everyone's favorite online. I don't know if this one's real. Personally, I don't think it is, just based off of the Christmas of this background here. I think she took real video and then filmed herself in front of this, then layered it together. It still looks really cool. Like, especially right there in this part right here. That looks like green screen big time. I don't think it's real. But I think you get my point. You know, like, if these types of events, like, imagine if this thing turned right on a dime, and how many people would have caught that from so many different angles. Like, you wouldn't be able to hide stuff like this in today's day and age. And if these crystal clear photographs that people were taking in the 50s, which happened all the time. Like, of course, everybody thinks of those Billy Meyer photos, but there's so many more hubcap photos out there that people hang their hats on as, like, real alien craft. And here we have, you know, a major meteorological event, basically a freaking meteor shooting through the sky, and the amount of people that caught it is incredible. It really is. Look at this. This girl's just kind of, you know, walking with her phone, and boom, man, the sky lights up. Now imagine this before cell phones. Something like this happening. Like, this wasn't on anybody's radar, this thing coming through our atmosphere. We didn't get any warnings about this. There's so many things in space that are just doing this. And before the day and age where everybody had a phone in their hand and they're vlogging constantly, you figure, like, even this is a pretty rare event. But apparently UFOs and sightings happen at a much higher rate and clip than something like this. If that's the case, where are all the iPhone videos? Where are all the people who were vlogging and then, holy shit, saw a football-sized craft? How come nobody's seeing something as big as the Phoenix Light these days? Ah, man. I think it's pretty cool. Honestly, I think it's cool as shit that this was caught from so many different angles, so many different people. And it just goes to show, like, man, if these UFOs were popping up in every country, like, people claim there's hundreds a day. Melinda Leslie claims that that hundreds of people every week get abducted by MyLabs and get followed by helicopters. It doesn't make any sense, you guys. Like, there should be infinitely more videos of major craft or events or anomalies like this, especially at the rate in which they happen. According to the ufologists, it's every day. So if it's every day, where's all the videos like this? Where are they? Crickets. There's no good explanation for that from the believer side of the argument. The only explanation they could go to is that the entities have figured out we have cell phones, therefore they cloak themselves. No longer, like, they didn't have that technology when people had film cameras. They couldn't cloak themselves then. But today, with the digital camera, they cloak themselves. It's it's funny. It really, really is. Don't badmouth Melinda Leslie. We are in a deep love affair. Lou, you're not opening your mind enough. LOL. Lou reviews, I'm to the point of just making fun of the ufologists, UFO religionists. I can't reason with them. So, man, that's kind of where I was at. I'm still kind of at the comedian in me wants to make fun of this, and I have an outlet in which I'm putting that in, and that's what I'm really excited to share with you guys once everything becomes official. And man, the meetings I had this week, honestly, I can't believe it's happening. Like, it's a lot of fun. It's been really, really cool, and I cannot wait to share with you guys what I'm working on. But yeah. I mean, look at this. Asteroids will be the death of us one day. Again, I agree. Man, I know it's very conspiratorial to think, but I feel like I can't remember what the year is, but there is a year, I think it's 2027 or 2028, when an asteroid will come incredibly close to the Earth, like the closest it's been ever in recorded human history. And when these things come through the Van Allen belt, I'm wondering if they're kicking other pieces of rock and debris similar to this, where that we just don't have the instruments to pick up on these smaller ones. I don't know how big they have to be I know if it's like the size of a car, that could cause some serious damage if it hits a major populated area. So I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I have like just a very conspiratorial gut feeling that is based on nothing. That I really think the reason why we're looking into into space as vehemently as we are is because I think that the numbers, because it's happened before a few times. So I don't know. It's going to happen again. It's an inevitability. And the idea that we're shooting rockets at, or basically propellants that land on asteroids to steer them away from Earth. Like, we've already tested that and it worked. So it's going to be interesting to see in the next few years what is actually happening. I'm wondering if we are tracking something that they're not telling us about, or that maybe armchair astronomers just haven't seen yet. I don't know, man. It's just something, I don't know, just again, a conspiratorial like feeling in my gut. But those have been proven to be wrong many times. So take that with less than a grain of salt. But this event does bring up a lot of fun questions and a lot of good points about a huge hole in ufology. And this is a point that Neil deGrasse Tyson has hit home so many times. And I've never had a good argument for it, even when I was an ardent believer. I was just like, he's right. Like, he's right. He's making a good point here. And this event shows that brilliantly. It really, really does. So, I don't know. Just wanted to talk about that, at least touch up on it. There's been a very interesting... I made some clips of the show from Friday, and in the second half of the show, we broke down a space in which Anjali, a guy named Steve, was convinced by Anjali to not go seek professional help literally 20 feet away from the emergency room. He tells this story. And there was a really cool back and forth between Andres, who is the clinical therapist, and Charlie Weiser. And sort of, I know Charlie Weiser's had a lot of run-ins with Anjali to sort of garner the opinion that she knows exactly what she's doing. She knows exactly. Well, like, part of her might be legitimately unwell mentally, and I mean, we can only speculate as that, but there are a lot of receipts on the things that she seems to have consciously made decisions on. You know, this was one part here that they highlighted some of more context of Anjali's involvement in Steve's story. He interviewed her on his own time and reported her to the UAPTF in order to get the attention of people in authority. Her beings gave him the following prediction. And so this was something that he was talking about, and Charlie's made some notes, and it's great. And I'll make a clip out of this part as well, because it's absolutely, it's so telling. And the part that blows my mind is the people in the room that were interviewing him didn't think for 1 second to ask him questions like this. After he makes a statement, which is this, he says, quote, "She gives us a prediction," meaning Anjali gives him a prediction that he gives to the UAPTF and his bosses, right? Tells us something an adversary is going to do, and it was something that was going to happen within 30 days. An adversary was going to do this thing, and it would be unmistakable, a lot of impact. She provided a specific area in the world, and if this did happen, it not be a coincidence. I typed it up on my computer, sent it to the TF in case it actually does happen, so Anjali will get the audience she needs. It will be crystal clear she's in contact with NHI. 30 days passes, it doesn't happen. I'm the most disappointed, taking stock of my own situation. I invested so much time into this. I put my reputation on the line. I get sent to a psych over this. A psych evaluation. This is coming from Steve. And he describes this happened, this is the story that he gave his boss. And then his boss was like, "Can you tell this story to my boss?" And he was like, "Yeah, absolutely. Let's go. Let's tell him. I think this is important." Tells him, of course it doesn't happen. And his bosses are then like, "Okay, I think it's time for a psych evaluation, like a mandatory. We're asking you to do it, but you kind of have to do it, because now we have to set up a paper trail of why you're going to get fired when it does happen. We have to be able to show our superiors, yeah, this is the reason why we let him go. Because he was bringing us Anjali stories of predictions of our adversaries doing terrorist acts. They never come to pass. And then he comes back after he gets dejected and, disappointed. He sits on it for about a month, and then he's right back, baby. Something happens that gets his hope right back to where it was. It's the roller coaster of being a ufologist in this cult, in this mindset of belief. It's wild that nobody was like, "Whoa, man, why didn't you stop after this? What was your wife saying? What were your bosses saying? Why weren't you listening to them?" Especially after the 30 days passes and nothing happens. No. Tell me more about Mother Gaia. Anyway, there was a really great back and forth between Andreas and Charlie Weiser on what I'm just glad I brought attention to it. because now people are pouring through it. And again, this is what we're going to be doing on the show. We're going to be highlighting a lot of these spaces because there's just some wild shit happening in there. And I think it's interesting to keep a pulse on what people are saying in these things. And holding up a mirror to it and just basically putting it out there so any new people that come into the fold hopefully stumble onto our videos and see, oh, okay, yeah, these are fun sometimes, but for the most part, I should not listen to anything that happens in here. And I certainly shouldn't be part of, and I mean, this is still going on, but Logan right here he's going on 67 hour space. A 67 hour space.
And don't ever make those noises towards her ever. That is not going to go well for you. My best suggestion is to stay clear of Heather, and your life will be a lot happier.
Well, at least they're saying something I agree with in there right now. That was perfect. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. They were warning people about Heather Birdie. Oh, man, I wish I had the volume turned up on that. That was great. I'll turn it up for the podcast. Sorry. Oh, my gosh. So funny. So funny. So funny. But also just strange. Like, damn, dude. 67 hours. That's remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. Okay, I've never seen this video. But this is the Minville UFO Fest that I believe this is from 2017 or 2018. I think this is the same parade that David Fravor was a part of. And here is, I don't know, but I've never seen this footage before. So maybe it's the new one. Maybe it's this year's McVinville UFO Festival. But this is Ryan Graves, Uncertain Vector, F-16, former retired F-16 fighter pilot, driving a golf cart with a few aliens attached to it, wearing a Scully. Like, dude, man, come on, dude. This is what you pictured when you started your foundation? This right here? This is like the height you were reaching for? Driving a golf cart in a parade, in a UFO parade? Oh, man. Honestly, you guys, this shit writes itself. This is the funniest fucking thing and the saddest and just the most visceral and raw. Like, man, I used to dogfight with the most expensive planes in the world. Now I've been delegated to driving a golf cart in a UFO festival. Look at this thing. Look how it's decorated. Oh, man. Dude, this community is fucking hilarious, man. It truly, truly is. It is so funny, man. Ay, ay, ay. I guess we could play this clip. I don't know why. Danny Sheehan doesn't say anything important here at all. Other than come up with another Trust Me Bro story. But yeah, this vetted guy, I know he's a nice guy. Patrick, seems like a nice guy, but he's very much a, yes, man. Very much doesn't want to rock the boat. Doesn't ask any serious questions. And look, I've been in that boat. I understand what it's like to be in those shoes. But once you start getting the Danny Sheehans on your show, there should be red flags popping up for you at this point. And he's had Sheehan on a few times now. probably because it's a huge ratings boost. His channel's growing. I get it. Like, there's no reason to change what is not broken. But the information that comes out of there is terrible. I mean, fucking terrible information. And we're going to listen to a little bit of it right now. So with that said, fair use. This is transformative work. We are sharing and commenting and critiquing the clips that we are sharing. This is covered under fair use and allowable by law.
I think the kind of stuff that's going on at Skinwalker Ranch, it appears to be a phenomenon. We got called by Bigelow right when it happened. The very first one of these instances that happened, Bigelow called John Mack. This was like 1994 or so. He called John Mack and said, look, he wanted John to come right out immediately to meet with Bigelow and bring your lawyer. So we fly out and we get to meet with Bigelow. And by the time we got there, he decided he didn't want to do anything about it. Colin Kelleher was there with him. So we go in there and here he is at the office. And we said, okay, look, you've asked us to come out here to meet you. What do you want? He said, no, I'm not going to do anything. I've decided I'm not going to do anything. Don't worry. I'm sorry for bringing you all the way out here. And then Colin Kelleher kind of calls me over. He says, come here. And so he takes me into the little side room and he explains what had happened. That in fact, one of their people on the site had been out in this meadow, and this like aperture just opens like this, and he can see into it, and he can see that it's like a different place there. He can't figure out what's going on. And he can look in, and he sees this being.
Patrick's like, wow, a portal with another being on it, man. Keep going, Sheehan. You're so good, man. I mean, I want to believe. So just keep the hits on coming. Already only 1 minute into this, and we're already getting portals with other things on the other side of it.
Taller than he was, taller than 6 feet tall, and is kind of hairy and looking like a weird Yeti, like, character.
Oh, so Bigfoot, a Yeti, an ice monster. Go on.
And then they both were completely shocked. They both saw each other and they were stunned like this. And then all of a sudden it just closes back up again. Oh, the guy freaks out, not unexpectedly. And he calls Bigelow, and Bigelow sends in a whole team of people to go over to where the site was. They come in with all this equipment and measuring devices.
So there's one guy sees all this, and they come by with measuring equipment and all those devices and stuff. Danny Sheehan, I don't think, witnessed.
Devices and cameras and all that stuff, and they're heading out to the site where it happened, and all of a sudden this helicopter flies in, and these like 6 guys get out that are in all black uniforms. They're American guys, and they're clearly military guys, but they're not in any kind of official uniform. It's all black jumpsuits. They jump out and they tell them they've got to get the hell out of there. And the guy said, no, that we're here. This is Mr. Bigelow owns the area, and that we're here to kind of look at. They said, no, you got to get out of here. And they ordered them out of there, and the scientists were kind of pushing back, and these guys start beating them up. They break their equipment, they stomp on their cameras, and they start punching out these little.
There's no evidence for this story whatsoever. No one has ever told this story except for Danny fucking Sheehan. 6 guys hopped out of a fucking black helicopter, clearly military, but don't have any insignia. They're Americans, clearly military. And they beat up people on private property and destroy their equipment? And not a police report was filed? Nobody decided to take any pictures of the fucking helicopter?
Little weak scientists, right? So the
look at his face. Look at Patrick's face. Run away. Whoa, look at his face, dude. Wow. Holy cow. Sucker born every second, man. And it's really easy to make a popular YouTube channel, UFO channel. It really is not that difficult. If you've been doing it for more than a year and you're not having any success with it, you're doing it wrong. This guy, he does it right. He's got a good set. It sounds good. You know, he's got great graphics. It's a very organized bullshit propaganda machine. I don't think he's doing it on purpose, but I sure as hell know that money and that intention that he's getting right now sure as hell isn't going to make him ask any difficult questions. I think this guy's already hit the fork in the road. He has to have. That fork in the road that I always talk about, where these show hosts, these podcasters, these researchers, all of them come to this fork in the road where they realize it's bullshit. It's bullshit. And they've got to take one of two paths. Either A, lean in to the bullshit, lean into the woo, grow your audience, grow your income, grow your independence, or B, start asking tough questions and trying to get real answers and losing that income and losing that influence and losing your audience. It's a tough choice. It really is difficult, especially when you're at the size of this guy's channel, which last I looked, it was over 20,000 on the YouTube. That's just YouTube. You know, Lord knows how many of those people are Patreon members and subscribers and all of the things that comes with this. And you're not going to put that in any jeopardy by asking simple questions, because you've seen what happens when you do. You've seen what happened to my show. You saw what happened to Jeremy McGowan. You saw what happened to Green Street in the basement office. And, you know, this is a very easy show to do. Just bring Danny Sheehan. The best thing about these guests, like Danny Sheehan, like Ross Coulthart, like Lou Elizondo, you ask them one fucking question and they'll talk for 20 minutes. You only have to prep 3 or 4 questions to just let them spit nothing but nonsense, make up stories like this one, and be able to clip it and show, oh, look, this is why you need to be in the vetted. We vet everyone. Look, welcome to Vetted, the show where we don't ask any fucking questions. It's so easy to see. This is so easy to see now, this formula. And at some point, I think this formula is going to hit a wall. Because people are losing patience with this discussion. And I think a lot of people hear this story and go, come the fuck on. Even the believers, the people that have done a ton of research about Skinwalker Ranch, have never heard this. Military guys hopping out of black helicopters and beating the shit out of the researchers and destroying their equipment. First I've ever heard of it. Riot, you're out there. Is that the first time you've ever heard that? I've never fucking heard that story from Skinwalker Ranch. Holy cow, man. Let's see what else he says in the next minute.
Scientists were freaked out and they run away. And they run back and they go back to the little bungalow house there that was on the site. And they're there all night and all night long. So there was this horrible thing was happening. Like they felt like they were getting bombarded all night long with some kind of a high frequency thing that was happening to them. And none of them could sleep and they were terrified all night long. And they run away and they call Bigelow. And Bigelow calls John Mack and says, look,
John Mack.
Something terribly.
And there you go. That I do believe. I do believe he did call John Mack because he funded John Mack's research. Bigelow did. He was the main supporter behind John Mack's research. A lot of people do not know that.
Really weird is happening out here. You got that whole project for extraordinary experience research you're doing. Come on out here and bring your lawyer. So
bring your lawyer. Bring your lawyer. He's scientist, right? He knows how to do scientific research. Bring him out here. The fuck you bringing Danny Sheehan's ass out there for?
We walk in to meet with him, and he's going, no, look, I've decided I'm not going to really do anything. I don't really want to cause trouble here. And then Kelleher, as I said, pulls me out and tells me the story about what's going on. And I'm going, fuck, they ought to sue the shit out of them. Somebody ought to figure out who these guys are and do something about it, right?
I heard it once before a couple months ago. He mentioned in an interview before, I believe it was on the Danny Jones show. I mean, he just said that Colm Kelleher was there. I don't think that was in the Hunt for the Skinwalker books or the Skinwalker at the Pentagon, right? Like, is this just a new story that Sheehan's making up that nobody's asked, like, being like, whoa. Would Kelleher say this? Who else saw this? Because he's just said that, what was it, Kelleher that pulled him out? Or was it somebody else? Let me see.
What was going on? And I'm going, fuck, they ought to sue the shit out of them. Somebody ought to figure out who these guys are and do something about it, right? And he's going, no, I'm not looking for trouble. I don't want. And so I was there right from the very beginning, right, from that thing. And so story about what's going on. And I'm going, fuck, they meet with him. And he's going, no, look, I've decided on Mac, and says, look, something terribly weird is happening out here. You got that whole project for extraordinary experience research you're doing. Come on out here and bring your lawyer. So we come out, as I said, we walk in to meet with him, and he's going, no, look, I've decided I'm not going to really do anything. I don't really want to cause trouble here. And then Kelleher, as I said, pulls me out.
Yeah, Colm Kelleher pulls him to the side. So Colm Kelleher knows about. So Colm Kelleher told him this story, yet I don't think we've heard this story from Colm Kelleher. I mean, I think that would be a fucking story you would talk about. Yeah, fucking, like, we saw this portal and dinosaurs on the other side of it. We went back to grab our equipment and more guys, and then when we started heading back out there, a fucking helicopter landed, 6 guys got out, beat the shit out of us, destroyed all of our equipment. It said, don't fucking go there on private property. Man, that is a fucking story, Danny Sheehan. Such a whopper that he himself said the F word. Now he's got me cursing. Damn, I'm really trying not to curse. Ever since I ended fucking UCR, I'm like letting it fly. But I listen to myself back on like the podcast sometimes to hear how it sounds in the car. And when I start cursing, I'm like, doesn't hit my ear right. So I get it, but damn, man. So stupid. So stupid. And this guy, Patrick, vetted. I vetted Danny Sheehan. More like this. This is what you did with Danny Sheehan. You scissored him. Like with your 2 vets and wham. Like you didn't cut to any bone here. Like, I bet he doesn't know who Colm Kelleher is. Or the books that he's written. Like, only Danny Sheehan can get away with telling this bullshit story on a show like this. He couldn't do that here. That's why he doesn't come here anymore. Oh, yeah. Please, Danny Sheehan, do a space so I can ask you questions about this fucking claim. Oh boy, I'd love to roast your ass in a space. Okay, I've got a couple more videos here. Let's see here. Oh yeah, let's let's play this one because this one was really damn funny. So this is our Voldemort, he who shall not be named, even though his name's all over this thing. Well, no, I could cut it out. There we go. So here we have our, what's a good comp here? What's a good comp? Almost looks like a nerdy Ryan Seacrest of conspiracy. I guess I'll go with that. Nerdy Ryan Seacrest. And here he is begging and apologizing to Joe Rogan for an interview. This is the funniest shit I've ever seen. I mean, this thing is falling apart so quickly in front of his eyes. And honestly, I'm here for it. I'm here to witness it. I really am. This is hilarious.
Hey, Joe. It's Ashton. I'm really sorry that I leaked the DMs. I did not mean any personal disservice towards that. It was a situation where it was beyond my control. I was being called a liar. I had to show the DMs. I'm sorry about that. I'll never leak DMs ever again.
I'll never leak DMs ever again. I don't know about that. Okay. I want to be on your show, Joe.
The reason why I want to be on your show is because I believe I can convince you, I can convince the whole world that the MH370 videos are real. I am willing to refute all the VFX debunk attempts that have been out there on your show. Spend time and do that as well. But I also want...
That would be a 15-hour show. He would just spin it and 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 spin it some more. I mean, I wish Joe would bring him on the show just to ask him the really simple questions. Like, why are we even considering a video that came from an Anon account that has a whole bunch of other UFO videos on it? Shouldn't we just stop there? Like, full stop? Shouldn't go past that, right? Like, anything past that is just stupid. Oh, and by the way, I brought a Marvel VFX expert here today who recreated your entire bullshit scenario thing here. So let's see if we can convince you that it's bullshit. And I promise you, like, when we talked to Krishley, we said on the show, like, you could put this guy through a 6-month intensive VFX training school or classes or like internship or apprenticeship where he gets to learn firsthand from the best in the business on a real movie project. And he would come out of that and still say this thing is real.
I want to talk about stuff like Thomas Bearden, phase conjugation, free energy, the ether, and how UFOs potentially fly.
Great. And this guy's figured it out, and so has Terrence Howard. I think this is what caused this idiot to make this video. Terrence Howard has been on the Howard Stern show. Terrence Howard, who's lied about his mathematical degrees. I think he said from Stanford or some shit. I can't remember what school he went to. He's not a dumb guy, but he does not hold the mathematical degrees that he claims to do. So he went on Joe Rogan and started spouting a whole bunch of pseudoscience and crazy bullshit, that stuff Joe could barely keep up with because it's crazy. But the actor, Terrence Howard, has figured it out. And this is what I think prompted Ashton to make this little plea video to please let me explain how UFOs fly. I got this one, Joe. I got this one.
Like gravitational technology, gravity manipulation, space-time manipulation, EM drive. And I want to talk about where the trajectory of our civilization is after this.
Yeah, this is the guy who's yelling at Costco workers to stop following him. This is the guy who sued the city of San Diego because he didn't want to wear a mask when he went to Costco at the height of the pandemic. By the way, he lost that lawsuit. They actually threw it out. The same guy who believes a fake Anon video randomly posted on the internet is some proof of human tech teleporting parts of the plane. I cannot even stress that enough. When it teleports planes, it does not teleport the entire plane, only parts of it. Apparently they were testing it on this flight. I don't know. Neither does Ashton.
Just want to give information to you, Joe Rogan, and to the world.
Oh.
If at the end of the conversation, you think that I'm in any way disingenuous.
This is the biggest lie out there. Well, first of all, this is something that got me blocked from him again when I asked this question in his live chat. And that was, hey, I thought you retired from MH370. What happened? So somebody just, Ashton fans out there, simply ask him that question. Hey, didn't you retire? What? No, seriously, like, I thought you retired from this. What changed here?
or that you just don't believe the MH370 videos are real, then I will stop investigating MH370 entirely, cold turkey, won't mention the plane again.
That's a fucking lie. That's a fucking lie. He said the exact same thing to Kim.com, and now he's threatening lawsuits against him. He's going to go on your show. You're going to destroy him. He's going to agree with you. Then 2 days later, he's going to be out there saying Joe Rogan set him up and he's a psyop. And he's a liar and he's fake news and he has a CNN brain. That is an empty fucking promise because that's a lie he's already committed. Fucking liar. You know, I'd love to talk to Andres about this guy. What might be going on in this fucking gray matter here? Maybe it's one of those situations where, you know, once Andres is done explaining what might be going on here, I'm like, oh, now I feel bad. But I don't know, man. Like, yeah, my patience meters for guys like this, my empathy meters for guys like this is zero. You know, this guy has threatened people. This guy has sent his 100,000 followers of some pretty wild thinking people after his enemies. He threatens people with lawsuits that he never follows through on. I welcomed the lawsuit. Anyone who says don't go on Ashton Forbes' show or have Ashton Forbes on their show, if you say that publicly, I'll sue you. Well, Joe Rogan, please do not have Ashton Forbes on your show because this is a lie and all he's doing is using you to garner more of a following because, let's face it, people love listening to fucking crazy people. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like moths to the flame. It's like watching a NASCAR race for the crashes. Going to a wrestling match for, you know, the cage match or the ladder match. Like, this is the only bad things will come out of him going onto a platform as large as Joe Rogan. And when I say bad things, I mean only more extremism. Again, this was this guy last week.
You fucking hear me? Don't follow me, creepy motherfucker. We already reported you once, okay? Get the fuck out of here.
We? Who's we?
Do you hear me? Get the fuck out of my face right now, creepy guy.
This is Costco security basically
Hey.
escorting him out of the fucking store. And just making sure he leaves the premises because he clearly has probably been there a few times. And this is probably the ire of his existence because, of course, these guys are wearing masks. So therefore, they're CNN brains. And he probably wants to go into this Costco. And this video is probably from Pandemic, if I had to take a guess. Just guessing. If it's recent, yeah, even worse.
Both of you, get the fuck out of here and don't do this shit anymore. Stop fucking following people. Yeah, well, you following people isn't fucking appropriate either now. Go back in your goddamn store. I've already reported you guys and I'll report you again. I'm gonna call the cops if I see you fucking following me again.
Who did you report them to?
Do you get me? Don't follow people, you creepy motherfuckers. Goddamn Nazis, fuck you.
That's the guy that Joe Rogan's gonna put on his show. God, I hope not.
I will agree to not even bring up MH370 for an entire year.
Oh, now it's a year.
I am willing to put everything on the line.
What does that mean?
Just for one chance to help inform the world about what might be the biggest revelation in the history of our civilization. You've had people like Terrence Howard on who've talked about the ether. Talked about
Terrence Howard is an Academy Award winning actor. There's other reasons why he was on the show. What else do you bring to the table, weirdo? other than this fucking conspiracy theory that you have not been able to let go of?
Phase conjugation. You've had other people in the past who've talked about things like teleportation, warp drive capabilities, as well as advanced physics and how the science has been suppressed from us. You've talked about anti-gravity researchers going away, disappearing, like Ning Li. We can talk about all of that. I'm willing to go through all of the case of MH370. I'm even willing to go against any kind of other expert on the MH370 videos, on the MH370 investigation, and any physicist that's out there that you want to bring on the show. I will argue and debate against any of them on it, and you can be the moderator. That's my proposal to you, Joe. I hope you consider it. Thank you very much. This is Ashton.
Yeah, no shit, dickhead. It says Ashton all over the top of your stupid video. Ay, ay, ay. What a dweeb. What a dweeb, man. This was a cool, interesting moment here. Here is ufology's heroine, right? I know that's a drug. But this is Senator Gillibrand on CBS New York. And she gets, of course, the UFO question.
So one of the things that you've been active in Washington has been dealing with UFOs. You've established the All-Domain Anomaly Restoration Office.
Restoration
I wonder what
Office.
You can tell me about that. I know that the report found that while they were able to explain some of the things that the Army and other people are reporting, there were 171 unexplained situations.
It's way more than that now. So the most recent report that I got is they've looked at about 800 as opposed to the first group of 300 unidentified aerial or anomalous phenomenon, because some's in air and some's in water. Most likely a lot of these are drones by adversaries, Russia, China, Iran. Some are spy technology, spy balloons, just like the Chinese spy balloon we saw. And then there might be other technology that we're just not aware of, but we can't identify. But what the purpose of this office is to do is to assess it. What is it?
Notice how she didn't say alien or extraterrestrial or otherworldly or NHI. It sounds like a lot of human-made stuff there that she just listed. It feels like she's changing her tune a little bit on this, guys.
Is it a small plane? Is it a drone? Is it a balloon? Is it something we've never seen before?
Is it an alien?
Yeah, is it anything?
Is it an alien? Is it anything? Please, don't make me say alien.
The problem is that our pilots, our service members, are often flying missions and they see aircraft in their way that they're very concerned they're going to run into it, that they're going to take down their aircraft, and without a process to identify it quickly, it's very problematic for domain awareness, national security, and air superiority. So that's what this office is supposed to do. I've also had deep concerns about the number of drone attacks we've seen at nuclear sites and at base.
Drone attacks at nuclear sites and military bases. What is she talking about? What is she referencing? Because I haven't heard any public stories about drone attacks on American soil at nuclear facilities and bases, military bases.
Around the country that have been made public. And
made public. Shit, man. I mean, she talking about the swarms that are sitting there collecting intelligence? Is that what she means by attack? Because maybe we have different definitions on what attack means. I'm thinking like explosions, or people die. But if she means like surveillance attack, yes, we definitely know about those. Those have been well documented.
We cannot have adversaries sending drones to spy on our service members, our technology, our communications. So we need a policy, and I'm working through the Department of Defense to create a much more robust policy. So this department's only going to get funded even more.
And I think that's why you're getting these foundations lobbying to maybe get some dollars thrown their way to help them look at this. Americans for Safe Aerospace, Galileo, the Nanu Project, the Soul Foundation. It goes on and on and on and on. And they all seem to have the same people on it too, which is just very strange. But not really when you know that all of them are just masking their foundations in different names in hopes to, I think, create this false need from this sector, this private sector, to help the government look at this. If there's 10 foundations knocking on the senator's door going, oh my God, hey, if you give us $100 million, we'll take a look at this for you. We'll help. We'd love to help. We've got a couple pilots on here. No? Okay. Cool. We'll be back next week. It'll be called the Soul Foundation. It'll be a different guy. His name's Gary Nolan. It's... To me, I think that's what's happening here. But it's also very clear that the senator wants nothing to do with saying NHI or alien or giving people... She's doing a very good job at not implying anymore that these things are aliens. She's giving you 10 earthly things, and it isn't until the reporter's like, or aliens, or anything, please. No, don't want to talk about aliens anymore.
To take down these drones.
And again, this is why she wasn't anywhere to be found during that Schumer amendment. Because she knows that that's not what's happening here. Same thing with Rubio.
So we need a policy, and I'm working through the Department of Defense to create a much more robust policy to be able to take down these drones so that these bases have the authority
more security around military bases?
Yes, and to have the authority to take down the spycraft, because,
I can't believe we don't have the authority to take down spycraft or drones. How do we not have the authority to do that? How does a ship captain or a nuclear facility base commander not have the authority? Now, to not have the equipment, that's even scarier. If this is a hardware issue, just terrifying. But if they have the hardware and it's just a permission issue, what the fuck? Really? We need bills to do that? I suppose it opens up the door because it's not going to be just like if you shoot down, maybe it's not a spycraft, maybe it's somebody's weekend drone, or maybe it's somebody's science project, or maybe it's a commercial drone that's available and it's doing surveys of land nearby. I guess I can understand needing protocol for those things, but the fact that that's not in place, that's fucking terrifying. These drones have been around, commercial drones have been around since 2012. So the government is 12 years behind this? Fuck, man.
yes, maybe something is a science project. Maybe something's just an enthusiast who wants to look on the base, but that is not acceptable from a national security perspective or from a domain awareness perspective.
We have a few seconds left. Do you think that there really are aliens and UFOs?
I definitely don't know. And I think it's important that we have full awareness of what's in our skies. We haven't been looking, and we need to look, and we need to be aware.
Okay.
She does not want to answer that question. I don't know. I definitely don't know. She's telling you, I definitely don't know. But I don't think so.
Aliens and UFOs?
I definitely don't know.
I definitely don't know.
And I think it's important that we have full awareness.
She goes right back to awareness, national defense, and the real issues. Aliens are not the issue here, guys. Like, if she really thought that, at least I would think, if she really thought that part of this was non-human intelligence, aliens visiting our atmosphere, she would have answered that a little differently. Much differently. And when you point out the, earlier in the conversation, or aliens. Yeah, actually, or aliens. Yeah, I mean, there is a percentage of this we really don't understand. That seems to be going past technology, but we need a lot more confirmation on something like that. She could have answered it like that, but she's not. I'm telling you, there's reasons why. There are reasons why, you guys. So I'm going to open up the Discord chat. Turn on the old. Let me see here. Right? I think I'm doing this right. Pretty sure I'm doing this right. Let me see here. Oh, actually, let's go to the general chat. There we go. There we go. Get the general chat going. So if you guys want to hop in here, you're more than welcome to. But I'll continue with this as
what's in our skies. We haven't been looking, and we need to look, and we need to be aware.
Okay, on that note, we're going to have to leave it right there. So
yeah. Not a whole lot popping from Senator Gillibrand, and it seems like she's really backing off of the old. This was, there we go. We'll do that. So this is Theories of Everything. This was an interesting clip that I came across. Again, fair use. If you want to see this whole clip, check out the Theories of Everything show. But this is an interview with Diana Pasulka, and she says some, again, very wacky things. and this will lead me to the Alex Dietrich part of this conversation here, because Diana Pasulka is now selling classes.
This one comes from Tupac Cabra, who has a Twitter account.
Oh, it's from Tupac Cabra, the question.
Link in the description. Does the Catholic Church have their own term /practice/training for remote viewing? And if so, does it predate the U.S. government's and how put-offs programs?
That's a good question. They actually do. And if you...
They actually do. But they don't call it remote viewing. And nobody's ever seen this in actual writing anywhere. And why would the fucking Vatican need this? If the Vatican could do remote viewing, why didn't they remote all of the child abuse that was going on within their church? Why don't they remote view how to fix poverty? Or when Jesus is coming back? Well, but Diana Pasulka, no problem. Yeah, this shit's real. Definitely. The Catholics are definitely remote viewing.
It's not called remote viewing, but it's called discernment. We've talked about people in the Invisible College, a lot of them being Catholics.
Discernment. This is the same thing that Gary Nolan said in that clip. If you use discernment and you're clever enough, you could come to the conclusion yourself.
All of them are, but most of them are. One of those people is Jacques Vallée. And when I first met him and throughout my collegial friendship with him, he's said to use your discernment, and this is something that must be developed. Okay. And so that caused me to recognize the term as being from the Catholic tradition. You go back and you look at where this develops, and basically it's this recognition that humans have the ability to see things that you can't, humans in general, some humans have it more than other humans, to be able to see or have information about people or events that you couldn't get in a normal way through the five senses or something like that. And that's called discernment.
Oh man. Just wild, dude. Absolutely wild. I'm looking for this. I want to just play this clip here real quick because I just love this clip. It's one of my favorite clips that I've ever made.
Here's how I think about it. I think it's sort of like an intelligence test. It's rife for ridicule, but if you are sufficiently observant and smart, you can jump to the conclusion of what it is without having to have all of the data that proves it, right? And so I can know that something is true without being able to draw a mathematical or geometric line between A to Z. And so
sounds like this discernment that the Catholic Church does, that Diana Pasulka just claimed is true. Well, must be some of that dude, slap me some of that discernment.
I think that's part of what's going on here.
Pump that in my veins.
That it's like, do you know what is in front of you and what you're seeing?
Anyone?
And it draws you forward. I mean, it's very self-congratulatory, obviously, thinking that, we are the chosen, et cetera. And it's, it makes you similarly subject to ridicule.
You don't say.
I don't see it as that. I see it as people who are showing the way.
People who are showing the way. Nothing from the panel. None of these guys know what to say to this because they're just like in pure awe. Oh, all hail Gary Nolan. He can't say or do anything wrong. He's the best, man. Just the bee's knees, that old Gary Nolan. Let's see here. There was here it is. So this is the open enrollment is open for the Diana Pasulka courses. Author of American Cosmic and Encounters. Enroll now at Diana Pasulka. So here's her courses. I think we've shown this before, but it's always fun to show it again. Why the hell not? Let's see here. So we've got 3 courses, each $247, except for the last course. So it's a recorded session on demand. A course that connects you to your creative reserves. Beyond the Stars Course 2, Advanced Topics in UFOs and UAP. And then Beyond the Stars Course 1, an Introductions to UAPs and UFOs. So these are the 3 courses that she offers right now. I'm sure there's more courses to come, more books to sell, more wares for Alex Dietrich, the former F-16 fighter pilot that had a husband who was part of the UAPTF. Forgot to mention that during her 60 Minutes interview. Sorry, I got a little frog in my throat here, guys. Look at this. Only $247. Let's go UFO. Yanni Sapir says, this is straight up consumer fraud. Are they offering free rides on a UFO? Oh, man. This is just so silly. And then here is one of our more interesting clips. This is Rizwan Virk tells Joe Rogan he knows people who worked on the UFO reverse engineering program. Now, when we look up Rizwan Virk, rather, I'm following him on Twitter. Riz Virk. So Arizona State University, Play Labs at MIT, Simulation Hypothesis, Wisdom of Yogi, Startup Myths and Models, Zen Entrepreneurship, Knights of Badassum, Griffin Gaming Partners. I thought he was a gaming engineer, and I'm pretty sure that's what he is. Let's check out his website. Oh, his books. He's got books. Simulated Hypothesis, a Simulation Hypothesis, no thank you. Startup Myths and Models, What You Won't Learn in a Business School. Wisdom of a Yogi, Lessons for Modern Seekers from an Autobiography of a Yogi. Interesting. So, yeah, I guess he's a big simulation theorist, which is fine. So we received a BS in computer science from MIT and MS in management from Stanford's GSB. He's currently working on a PhD at ASU's College of Global Futures, researching metaverse and virtual worlds. Riz was the former founder of Play Labs at MIT, a startup accelerator held on campus at the MIT Game Lab. He also runs Bayview Labs, and is a venture partner at Griffin Gaming Partners, one of the largest gaming VC funds, and is an advisor on Ridge Ventures. Riz is a prolific Silicon Valley angel investor, having invested in many startups, including Tapjoy, Telltale Games, Discord, Funzio, Pocket Gems, Moon Express, Theta Labs, Bitmovio, North Bay Solutions, 1 Billion Tech, and many others. His video games include Tapfish, I think my girlfriend plays that, Penny Dreadful, Demimonde, and Grim Cards of Fate. So he's a nerd. He's a nerd that makes games for nerds. You know, looks like a big Pokemon guy. Seems like a smart dude. Seems like he knows what he's talking about. And when he says things like this, it gets your ears perked, right? But let's listen to this story. Let's see. Rizwan Virk tells Joe Rogan he knows people who worked on the UFO reverse engineering program. Quote, a few that I've met said somewhere within the government, ... we have some technology that was reverse engineered from some craft, end quote. So let's listen to this whole thing. Again, fair use. We're educating the public and critiquing the videos that we are sharing. This is covered under fair use and allowable by law. Here we go. Oh, by the way, this reminds me, guys, I've been timestamping all the videos now. So every time the video is done, I'll have a timestamp within 24 hours. So within 24 hours after the show, you can just go to the timestamps and hopefully navigate these 2-hour shows a little better going forward. So I just wanted to let the audience know that. I forgot to tell you guys. Here we go.
Look, I've met probably 4 or 5 people who have told me off the record, confidentially, like, I mean, I don't think they mind if I express it without mentioning who they are, that they have been part of the reverse engineering program, or they have seen the anti-gravity stuff that we have created based on UFOs, based on technology. And I think that gets back to where the whole recent debate has been within Congress around, do we have a reverse engineering program?
Right.
Is it in the government?
Right.
Or is it in...
Yeah, we have reverse engineering programs. They've existed since the military has existed. We've always back engineered our enemy's shit. So those are real. Now, whether or not they're back engineering alien craft, that's a completely different animal altogether. And Congress is not doing that. They're looking for special access programs that they're not aware of. But as far as we can tell, none of those special access programs that they're not aware of are holding UFOs. So far.
Private industry, right? You have that guy, Dave Grush. And so I've been, peripherally involved with...
So Dave Grush. So he says Dave Grush. So that means he's probably talking to the same assholes that have said this to a lot of other people. Again, remember, Dave Grush went to New York City to talk to a bunch of billionaires in a billionaire's penthouse. He was paid to go speak there at a private conversation in someone's penthouse. Was it this guy's? Was he one of the billionaires who was there? Or one of the entrepreneurs? Sounds like he might have been. Like Dave Grush. So... let me guess, Ross Coulthart is giving you maybe some of this information? The reverse engineered legacy programs?
Both of those projects, at the Galileo Project at Harvard, which is taking a very scientific view, and then the Soul Foundation, which is...
We know exactly who told them this. You got the Galileo Project, then you got the Soul Foundation, both filled with people that are not doing actual science on this. They're just talking about it, and they keep pushing the date back. First, it was 2025. Then it was 2030. Now it's 2035. Oh, yeah. All right. This guy's talking to the same people we know about. And there's nobody that this guy's talked to that Joe Rogan probably hasn't had on his show.
Looking at this broader aspect, which includes elements like Jacques Vallée and Diana Pasulka and others have talked.
every single person in Foundation he's just named is filled with liars. And grifters. I mean, we just went through Diana Pasulka's 3 new classes and books that she's doing and bullshit that she's making up about the Vatican remote viewing. Then you've got the Soul Foundation, which is headed up by Gary Nolan and his fucking group of sycophants. The same foundation that Kurt Jaimungal said he went to and found it very despondent, that it was the people in the audience were more excited for the information than the people sharing it. And he found that strange. And the Galileo Project went looking for rocks in the ocean and they found nothing that extraterrestrial. As a matter of fact, I think they found a very natural phenomenon that happens in that part of the ocean. Can't remember what it was, but I know for sure it wasn't fucking alien. And also, seems like the FBI has knocked on the door of the Galileo Project doing some kind of... Okay, bye, babe. Some kind of investigation around that foundation. So a bunch of red flags, the people this guy's naming. And this is how this bullshit spreads. Because, you find out who this guy is. Oh, wow, he's very interesting, very smart. He's a billionaire. He must be connected to these people, right? Like, maybe he is getting some good information. It's the same shit we got. It's the same shit.
About.
When you talk to these people that say that they're working reverse engineering things, where do they think these things came from?
Some of them say they're extraterrestrial, and some of them say it's more complicated than that. But they haven't gotten into detail with me exactly.
How can you let someone get away with saying it's more complicated than that after what you've just described for the
right.
last 2.5 hours?
Right. I mean,
how can
for
you say
me,
it's too
not even complicated.
Like, hey, come on, trust me.
Yeah, most of this was
trust me, bro.
Before.
They even say it. Trust me, bro. Like, this is true. It's true, man. The guy who told me. Trust me, bro. He's high up. He's high up. Not as high as Sean Kirkpatrick. Nowhere near that kind of level of classification or bona fides. But he's up there, man. He's up there.
People I met before I had even written my simulation book.
That would frustrate me to no end. Someone said it's too complicated.
Well, me too. And or they can't talk about it, right?
Right. Is that what it is?
It's a bit of both.
They
right?
can't talk about it, but yet they're talking about it at a fucking party. If they can't talk about it, that means you shouldn't know about it. That's not how classified information works, for fuck's sake, dude. Why do they keep losing that?
They said they can't talk about it.
How do they know?
Well, so, I mean, I've met many people who've seen these craft, right? Dozens and dozens. But there's a few that I've met that actually
seen these craft.
Actually seen them there's only a few that I've met.
On bases.
Yeah, that said somewhere within the government. Like, they're not even...
Why doesn't Joe Rogan ask fucking Bob Lazar these kinds of questions? Like, these are the kinds of questions I would expect of James Fox or fucking or Tucker Carlson. Why didn't you ask these questions, man? You're grilling this guy?
Getting very specific.
I mean, you had David Grush on your show and you didn't grill him as hard as you grilled this guy in 2 minutes.
Right.
Where? Because they're not allowed to say that, right? But that we have some technology that was reverse engineered from some craft.
So spooky, so mysterious.
Look, I've met probably...
It's a joke, man. Guys, it's silly. It really, really is. Ay. Dozens and dozens. Yeah, I agree. It's BS. Now, Mr. Danger, please get laid or smoke or drink some wine and chillax with us. We mean no harm. Wait, who's Mr. Danger? Matt Danger? I come here to get away from that stuff. What stuff? Don't get me wrong. If you want to be KMF light, then be my guest. Just don't be so preachy about other deer bags. Is Matt Danger talking about me? Bobby Broadway, I bet she sleeps with all the people she talks with. Comments is still there and people piled on them in laughter. What is happening? Oh, play the clip of Project Unity saying he told us he was told to be a community leader and toe the line for calling out red flags. I did see that clip, but yeah, I'm not going to play it because, yeah, I don't want to share anything you guys are doing. I don't like people using... Okay, anyway. Matt Danger. Somebody want to explain to lie what I'm referring to? Somebody please. It's been going on for 10 minutes. Yeah, I have no idea. This is funny. I'm assuming he means Lou. We need more Jeremy Cowbell. That's what we definitely need. It's Mike, Lou. Are we talking about UAP Mike? Is that who this is? Is that who Matt Danger is? Oh, man. Oh, my chat room is sour shaming Diana Pasulka. What does that even mean? What does that even mean, dude? The internet, what the internet is commenting on her looks, is that what am I supposed to do? What do you want me to do? Stop it, internet. Stop doing that. Just comment on her grifting and stupid classes, please. Let's just keep it to that, because that's funny enough. You know, Mr. Danger here is coming to the rescue. Oh, man. Sounds like something Sean Rash would try and do. It sounds like something UAP Mike would try to do, too. As if these women need your help. As if these women need your help defending them. I think they're more than capable of defending themselves. Your chat room says she sleeps with everyone she talks to. Oh my God, it must be true then. It must be true because my chat said it. This has got to be UAP Mike. Like, this has got to be UAP Mike. Without a doubt. Let's see here. Oh, it's my chat room. Is it? Let's see. Is that going on in my chat room, guys? Oh. Is the interneting? Did somebody to a fucking open chat room say something inappropriate? Oh, man. Oh, no. Let's end the internet, everybody. Let's end the show. That's it. Show's over, everybody. UAP Mike wants us to fucking... to end the show. Because somebody in the chat room commented on Diana Pasulka's looks. Okay, let's end it all, everybody. Let's go home. Thanks for watching the show, Mike. You're so dumb. Like, you're so dumb. Like, this shit doesn't work anymore. This tactic doesn't work, dude. Point people to whatever you want in the Discord, in the chat. Like, it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. You're riling up a group of about 130 people. Max. And none of them really care what you say anymore because you've dug yourself in such a deep hole from both ends that you have become non-relevant. Non-relevant. So when you say stuff like this in chats, it's so dumb. Especially coming from you. You. The lowest of the low. Man. He's funny. He is funny, man. That's wild. He went quiet real quick. Oh, man. So the lag of here's Mr. Dick Butts is April 24th or something. Wise Monkey said in the Discord, I put a jokey post on yesterday about the lack of appearance by Mr. Dick Butts. It's April 24th or something. The enigma grows. However, it's strange he hasn't chimed in to AstroTurf and narrate on behalf of Lou Elizondo given the recent BS claims. Further signs all's not well in the Mellon Corp. Thoughts? Yeah, I can... That's interesting. April 24th, you say, huh? When did we do our... Let's see something here. When did we do our Lou Elizondo blackmailed me video? We did that 2 weeks ago. May 6th. So, yeah, definitely hasn't said anything since then. And yeah, you're right. I mean, that is weird. I would have definitely thought he would have come out, especially after that show, to say some shit. But yeah, it is all quiet on that front. And I think it is because, yeah, there's things going on behind the scenes. Again, it's not going to be, from what I'm hearing, it's not going to be a good few months for Lou Elizondo, as far as his credibility is concerned. I think things are going to be coming out here shortly, and that's why he made the statement that he did through Matt Ford. It is interesting that all of his little minions have been pretty quiet these last few weeks, almost a month. Yeah. I think there's, if the rumors that Stephen Greenstreet were talking about with the book and sort of what's going on with that and how his colleagues are pissed off at him, his friends, because he's stealing their stories and making them his own through this book. Yeah, I think that is very much a possibility. So yeah, good question. Let me see here. I'll drop the bad jokes now. Certainly seems to be working. How many days has it been since the almighty Grush came out? It's been 350 days today. Today's the 350th day that Grush has come out. So another 15 days and it'll be a full year. It'll be a full year. Yeah. What's his name? Steve Cambion every day reminds us how many days it's been. And I'm pretty sure today was 350. So another 15 days and it'll officially be a year that we got the story and nothing has come out of it. William Runner says, Lou Reviews, you should do more shows because those losers that hate that they can't take control of that. Yeah. Do you mean Spaces, William Runner, or do you mean like live shows like this? I think they hate both, but I think they really hate when I do Spaces because, yeah, my Spaces are really good. Really good. And the beautiful thing about my Spaces is it does attract the rational believers, and I do believe there are a lot of rational believers out there, but it basically weeds out all of the riffraff because none of the questions that or things that they're going to say in that room are going to be met with any validation. They're going to be met with respect and then questions. And if there's room and it needs to be said, some criticisms. But the amount of great information that has been coming out of these spaces has been phenomenal. That's due in large part to Andres, who's he's going to be part of the space on Thursday. He's been such an amazing resource. And again, if you're someone out there that is suffering from what you think are abductions, or, you think you're being followed, or you think you're part of the My Labs experiment, in the link below, we have a link to a place where you can seek therapeutical help if you're interested in that. It was recommended by our clinical therapist, Andres. So check it out. If that's something that you're suffering with, there's just a link, almost like I don't want to say suicide hotline, but it's like a hotline that you could call if you're having these issues, or if you're struggling mentally with some of those things. I think it's not something that you see in spaces often. It's the International Society for the Study of Trauma and Disassociation. And so if you click that link, it'll point you in the right direction to seek professional clinical help. Just whatever you do, make sure you never contact Anjali on what to do if you're having one of these episodes, because she will put you in a hotel for 3 days and let you wander the streets for 2 of them. So the spaces have been great because we've been able to really dive into the work of John Mack. We've been able to dive into the mindset of people like Anjali and whistleblower Steve, who's been making his rounds on these spaces. We've been able to dive into a lot of the mindset and what's going on with the avid believer, and learning things like, hey, sometimes people don't want links or suggestions on where to go. And that's cool, understanding that sometimes people they just want you to hear their trauma. They want you to hear their experience. And I get that, I get it. And I'm learning how to deal with those situations better every day. I'm not perfect. But thanks, Andres. We've really, really, really have been able to do some wonderful, just scratching of the surface dives, not even real deep dives. I think Thursday is going to be really fun because we're going to go deep on sort of the start of these transmediums, and being able to harness and remote view and all of this just wild stuff, and really talk about where it all started and how it manifested into what we see today with CE5 and all of the other sort of parapsychology things that are being claimed to be real within this conversation. So yeah, don't miss Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. And the crowd, the audience absolutely loves him every time he's on the show. If he could be on every show, I would love him to be on every show. But people are asking me to bring him on more. And I've told him, hey, you've got an open door policy here. So if I could have him on every show, I would. I really would. Only because he's a great person to bounce off, like what's happening. I would love him to be here when we're talking about Diana Pasulka and the classes that she's offering and the things that she's saying about the Vatican. Would love to talk about the back and forth that he had with Charlie Weiser on the state of, whistleblower, Steve and Anjali. He's just a great resource. And person that genuinely is, I think, here in the community to genuinely help. He's bringing all of his expertise to this discussion and answering questions and not charging by the hour. We really get to pick the mind of somebody who has the bona fides to talk about this stuff. To talk about abductions, to talk about, voices that people hear, all of the stuff that comes with the UFO subculture. So yeah, I can't talk about him enough. I mean, honestly, he's been so much fun to have on the show, and he really is helping me steer the direction. And what I think the future of this discussion is being able to point out the flaws in it, talk about those flaws, challenge not only ourselves, but the people making those claims in the most respectful way possible. You know, like it's the space that every believer claims they want. A space with skeptics that are treating them respectfully and trying not to bring their belief systems or their preconceived notions into the discussion. And I could definitely say that about Andres. I can't say that 100% about me because I'll always bring my viewpoints in on this. But I am, because of Andres and because of sort of the spaces that we've been establishing, I think I've been doing a pretty damn good job at keeping it respectful and keeping it fun and keeping it lighthearted. And when it does get tense, being able to work through that tense moment by simply talking about it in a rational way. You know, last night I had a discussion with Kimball, and it was very irrational. It was just a really silly conversation. His biggest beef, from what I pulled from it, is when I did my show and I clipped his audio, I left out that Logan was a big part of the reason why he was so upset, and the AI recreation of his voice and where it went to and how it was distributed. And he didn't think I gave enough attention to that part of the story. And my reasoning for that was simply, I just forgot. Like, I forgot that one transgression compared to all of the other transgressions from the people that were literally abusing you and yelling at you in your face and stabbing you in the back in real time. And so when I covered the story, I left out Logan basically out of all of it. And that wasn't with intention. That wasn't me trying to cover for Logan. And his whole reasoning in his head is because Logan was the only guy who actually spoke up and said something in that space where Heather Birdie was calling me a fat fucking retard, and her little Nazi buddy, Doomer Daddy, was calling for my extermination and, you know, comparing me to pests. And Logan was the only guy who stood up and said, whoa, man, we can't compare this guy to pests. You know, we can't dehumanize him like that. Like, we shouldn't be doing that. And because he said that, he thinks that for that, I left him out of the whole reason why Kimball had his meltdown, his very, very public meltdown, that I felt it was important to highlight because it shows how far people can get pushed in this community by so-called love and light, by so-called friends. And yeah, it was just it was a waste of my time. It was a waste of my time because when I gave that reasoning, it was you're a liar. That's not what happened. You're lying. And I don't have time for people who are going to sit there and call me a fucking liar off of a lie that would be so fucking stupid. I've got no interest in covering for, I don't even know who Logan is. I don't know what his face looks like. I don't know his real fucking name. I've been in maybe 10 of his spaces. He's on hour 67 going on right now in a space. He's trying to set a fucking world record, I guess. Like, these are the things I always criticize and talk about in my spaces, are these exact things right here. I think this is everything that's wrong with the community. I think it was his space that harbored the place for people to feel comfortable enough to call me a fat fucking retard and dehumanize me in a way that Nazis did to Jews during the Holocaust. The exact same verbiage. So, yeah, you know, those kind of conversations, I'm just like, I'm out. Like, if you're going to call me a fucking liar, good luck. Like, because all of your buddies, all of your friends, all of the people advising you on this are the same people that stabbed you in the fucking back. It is I mean, we labeled it, Matt Riot labeled it a few weeks ago when we were in a space with him and he was sticking up for UAP Mike. this sort of hostage complex or a hostage syndrome, where you want to be kidnapped, you want to be the hostage, you want your life threatened by these fucking maniacs. It's just something I guess you get a kick out of. You get a kick out of being backstabbed. You get a kick out of, buying people meals in hotel rooms and laptops and spending money on people and trying to be people's friends and connecting with them, all while they're using you. And then the second something good happens to you, they all turn their backs on you. But yet you want to do a space with me and try to put me on the spot for being a liar because I got your fucking... your story wrong. It's your story, man. Like, I don't know all the details of it. And I'm working on much bigger things to remember every detail and thing that was said about your relationship with a stranger to me. Both of you are fucking strangers to me. So anyway, that's what happened last night in a space. It's just like, this community has selective hearing. This community really doesn't want answers. They want mystery. They don't want to talk to skeptics or people that have real questions because there is... Again, I've said it so many times, they cry for these people to come into their spaces and they make these spaces as if they're some all-important venue where news is made. It's not. It's a bunch of like-minded people in an echo chamber repeating the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over again to a point where somebody talks about hurting themselves out loud. It's a shit show. Community's a pure shit show. And I think the spaces and the conversations we're having are absent of all of that stuff. We don't have those drama-filled bullshit discussions in my spaces. We just don't. But yeah. Anyway. That's the show, thank you guys. That was a fun show. Talked about a lot of fun stuff. And if you enjoyed it, do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe. If you really, really loved it, of course, check out our Patreon. Check out being a member. You can be a member through YouTube. And support the show for as little as $5.99 a month here on YouTube, or as little as $1 on Patreon. Here, let me see here. Turn this down a little bit. There we go. Archangel Reese, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for the compliment. 5x5 News, TJ Felony, Junji and Laura, who is a new member, by the way. Thank you for becoming a new member. Thank you. Yeah, it's right here. Oh my. Thank you for being a member. Truly appreciate it. You guys have been so damn supportive through super chats and memberships. I can't thank you guys enough. Honestly, it does allow me to do this show 3 times a week now. We're back to 3 times a week. I've been able to make some really cool clips with some softwares that I've been able to buy to make clips for you guys, so that way you can get a taste of the show and see if you're interested in listening to the rest of it. Yeah, there's just a lot of fun stuff happening here, you know? So again, we release shorts and edited material all the time, and really concentrating on the community, highlighting what's going on in the community. I think is going to be our focus, and helping people get out of the rabbit hole instead of deeper in it. So if you're into that, please consider supporting the show. And if you can't do it with the almighty dollar, do it with a like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. That way you're notified anytime we go live. You guys, it has been amazing to have everyone in here. Matthew Riot, Aaron Desario, so great to see you back in these chats, and my mod here and being in our Discord. Damn, it's great to see you back in here, dude. Seriously. I just love that we've got Aaron Desario back in the house. That was one of my favorite people when we were doing UCR, and still is one of my favorite people. So thanks for being here again. Pat Calabria, thank you so much. Simon Fly, Swink McLeod, all of you guys are amazing. I see you, Mama's Dope Boy. I see you. Thank you so much for all the love. I appreciate it. Bobby Broadway. Oh, Bobby Broadway, thanks. Thank you for being here. Love you to death, Aaron Desario. Wise Monkey, good night, chat, until Friday. Which, by the way, guys, I'm hoping, again, we're working on a really big story here. I think, a very big story. And I'm hoping by this week, by Friday, we'll be able to share some of the details of that. We'll see. I'm waiting for 2 more verifications. It's early in the week. It takes a couple days to check on things like this. But so far, the one confirmation we got, it is not looking good for a certain group of guys in this UFO community who have done some now very terrible shit. But again, I got to confirm it before I tell everybody about it. But yeah, it's going to shock some people. Anyway, with that said, you guys, I cannot thank you enough. This has been a fun show. I love talking about everything that we did. We had some good stuff today. One last time, please don't forget to smack the like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. That way you're notified when we go live or any new content comes out. Thank you so damn much for embarking on this journey of discovery together. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and thank you for helping raise the bar here at Lou Reviews. Until next time, you guys, we'll see you on Friday and Thursday in our space. And don't forget to check out, this show's available on all podcast platforms. So leave us a rate and review. The podcast is growing again. It's cool. It's cool we're back. We're back, baby. But it's just called Lou Reviews. It's essentially almost kind of not really the same show. But in a way it is. Anyway, I love you guys. Have a great rest of your week. See ya. Peace.